Hello, dear friends. I know you were waiting for long for the second video on this beautiful topic of humor in presentation. At the fag end of the first presentation, I had asked a very basic question, and that question more so was relating to presence of mind. In that particular thing, I had asked a very simple thing. A train is moving from north to south, wind is blowing from east to west. In which direction will the smoke travel? If you go back and check, what exactly the question was. An electric train moving from north to south, wind blowing from east to west. And there are quite a few who personally messaged me and gave me an answer saying that it's an electric train, so there is no smoke at all. That is what is called as presence of mind. Now, as communicators, if we want to make a presentation very, very effective, as I repeatedly tell, humor, wit, and presence of mind. These three things will take you all through and make your presentation very, very effective. So, as we begin the second part of this presentation, I have put three pictures once again. The first picture that is on the left side, you can see a beautiful bag. Now, you may be wondering, why I put this particular picture on the screen. I was traveling in 2AC to Chennai, and I found a lady, I think from Kerala, who just got into the train in the coach and kept the bag on that particular seat. You may knowing second costliest, or you can say third costliest seat that we have in 2AC in Indian trains, and the bag was so fortunate enough to occupy a seat in 2AC. So sometimes, I was wondering whether that lady has booked both the seats as well, the upper and the lower, the side lower and side upper, as it is called in railway terminology. On the right side, there's a beautiful picture. When you look at it, you find a very, very important thing missing. And you may be focusing only on his smile, and maybe a tooth is missing right there. But very importantly, the eyebrow is also missing. And this is a beautiful picture that I found in a dental clinic. So I thought I will just share it with you all. And very important aspect about this humor in presentation is, the child within us should never die. We should be childlike, but never be childish. So never lose your inner child. Moving further in today's presentation, I have a beautiful picture that signifies the present day education, how parents are over involved in their children's education. And this is a picture that I thought I would share where my children study, with the principal and teachers where my children study. And these are the 10 things. If you want to lie as to why your child was absent, press 1. The answering machine of the school. So you can go through this in your free time, and it's really wonderful because today we talk about so many WhatsApp groups of parents complaining against teachers, complaining against fellow students, complaining against the principal, complaining against the management, complaining against the school. There are few WhatsApp group of parents where positivity is there. Very few. But when I tell my dear friends to help me join that WhatsApp group where parents of my children classes are there, they don't add me at all for reasons possibly obvious to everyone. As a teacher, I had this love for English language. I always wanted my students to learn English so that they are equipped, apart from the local languages, apart from their mother tongue. An incident happened in a class. The teacher was a little late to class. And one mischievous boy got up and said, "The teacher has not come." Again, a minute later, again he gets up and says, "The teacher has not come." So he continues 3, 4 times. Suddenly, the monitor of the class gets up and tells him, "Dear friend, it's not teacher, it's teacher." So he angrily looks at that monitor and says, "You sit down. Pronunciation differs from people to people," he says. That is the beauty of English language. When I was very young, I had that Hindi influence on my English language. Anything said in English, I would translate it into Hindi and I would use it. Someone asked me a question, "How come?" I said, "By bus." The very translation of how come in Hindi would mean kaise aaya. by bus is what I would say. Similarly, there are so many incidents in Kannada as well. Many people say, "You're coming, no." If you translate it in Kannada as it is Bhartiya Allah, there is so much of mother tongue influence when we speak English. Remember, if we can do away with the mother tongue influence on English language, we can become good English speakers. Next, very important thing that I always enjoyed is translating our Indian names to English language. For example, we had Satya Prakash, Truth Light, Ravi Prakash, Sunlight. It goes on. Had the habit of translating that. We had, you know, Sankapanna, the bridge father brother, as it is translated from Kannada to English. Like we had the Biddappa, fallen father, Nanjappa, septic father. You can go on. That was the love for English language. I was a very strict teacher, in my initial days of teaching. But now I've realized 1 minute of anger spoiled 60 seconds of my happiness. So I thought I'd rather be happy. But in my initial days, I remember a few incidents. I basically used to teach accounts and I used to give a lot of homework to students so that examination doesn't become their first time of solving a particular problem. And I used to check every other student's work, whether he or she has done or not. So every student had to turn pages, suppose 2 problems or 3 problems for homework given. So students would always turn their pages. I will just say and move on to check, another student's book. One day, a boy did not open his book at all. So I said, the homework? He said, "Sorry, sir, I did not do." So I said, "Can you give me a good reason why?" Because he said he did not go home. I have learned a lot of things from my students, and this is one. So from that day onwards, I changed the concept of homework to class self work. Go wherever, do and come. So that is one incident. Another incident, I was taking Indian corporate law classes, and we talk about a concept called memorandum of association. There are 6 clauses in name clause, domicile clause, it goes on. The class had given only 5, and I was trying to get the best out of my student. I wanted them to tell me the 6th clause, and there was the silent girl who would never open her mouth. Suddenly she whispered and said, "Santa Claus." So to continue continue with that incident, I thought, I would add something of my own. As I said, Santa also comes with a clause today. So these were, some moments that I can recollect as a teacher, as a strict teacher. And my wife is a great cook. During holidays, Sunday, she would ask me, what do you want me to prepare? So in lighter vein, I always tell her, first you prepare, then we will give the names. So this is possibly what happens in every other house. Possibly it happens in my house, and I'm very, very happy, or rather, we are very happy. We share that lighter moment, talking about these things. Now, when I look at laughter, very, very important thing, kind of motivation for all my students. I keep reminding them that every fool knows that he or she cannot touch the stars, but it shouldn't stop a wise man from trying. That is very, very important. So try, whether you succeed or not, that we will take it for later, but focus on the process. The result will always be fruitful. I've got 2 beautiful stories. One in a very lighter vein, second one serious, but little motivating. Quick story. A doctor gets a call from you know, from one of the patients, you can say. So the doctor picks up the call, and the person on the other side said, "Doctor, sir, my wife is having serious stomachache. Can I seek an appointment?" The doctor says, this time you can come today. And immediately at that particular point of time, he, along with his wife, they come to the doctor's clinic, and doctor checks and says it is appendicitis. So appendix has to be removed. That is what the doctor suggests. And the operation is successfully done. After some 6 months, again this man calls the doctor and says, "Sir, my wife has serious stomachache and I'm very, very sure it is appendix." And he continues to tell the doctor 3, 4, 5 times. The doctor gets very wild and says, "Can you please stop? I am the doctor." I have already taken out the appendix once, and a human being has only one appendix. So the person on the other side listens very patiently and he says, Doctor, you said it right. A human being has only one appendix, but a man can have two wives as well. The second incident, very motivating one that I consider, and that is about one black boy. It's a scene of a seashore, and there is a balloon seller with this helium air in the balloon. There are children persuading their parents, or rather, you can say, troubling their parents. I want this orange color balloon, I want this blue color, I want this green color. So, after a lot of pestering by all these children, the parents buy different color balloon. Now, this black boy, looking from at a distance, waits for all of them to go. And once all have left, this black boy goes to the balloon seller and asks him, Sir, will a black color balloon fly? Because among the colors of the balloon, he did not find black color at all. So he was a little inquisitive to know whether a black color balloon will fly. Beautiful thoughts of a balloon seller. He says, My dear son, it is not the color of the balloon. It is what is inside the balloon that takes it high in the sky. I think as teachers, it's an ardent responsibility, obligation, duty to encourage every child. It is not their external color, it is what they are inside. What are their capabilities that is going to take them very high in the sky? I think if we share the story, all the students will definitely enjoy it. The next incident is about my mom's funeral. We finished the burial work thing and we were walking back. I had two aunts beside me and I put my hand around their shoulder and we were walking back to the church once again. So one of my aunts said, Flossie is my mother's name. She shouldn't have died. She is the youngest in the family. There are so many elder brothers and sisters who are still there, but she shouldn't have died. So my mummy's elder sister looked at the other aunt and said, So do you want me to die? I didn't know what to do, whether to laugh or to cry at that particular point of time. Then I said, I want both of you all because you all are two pillars of our family. And we continued. So this is one incident that I can never forget at all. We look at perfection in other person, in our life partner. But let us be very, very clear. It is that imperfection that makes this person special for us. And beautiful thoughts on perfection. Don't worry about perfection at all. We will never get there at any point of time. Very important, another thing is decision making in our life should be very, very timely. I have a beautiful video that I would like to share. You know, everything has a certain time and everything should happen on time. That is very, very important. And this particular video is going to signify that. Well, this is a small video that I wanted to share. Point is very simple. The lady who is there taking pictures is the lady whom I have already booked for my 25th wedding anniversary. Decision making should be timely. If you need to take decisions, take the right decision, and the time you take, it should not be a lost opportunity. Let's be very, very clear about that. I am a creative teacher. As I said, my love for English language, I want my students to learn. All these were things that were happening in my initial days of teaching. I was teaching in an evening college many years ago. And, in an evening college, the students would work daytime. Their hard-earned money would be paid as fees. They would come to college. But then I found the attendance becoming a little thin over a period of time, or coming very closer, you can say, to the end of the semester. So I thought of an idea and I said, any student who remains absent will henceforward write a leave letter in English. and will have to submit it to me, get it signed, only then come to class. So this fellow, tried his level best not to take leave at all. The problem was not taking a leave. The problem was writing a letter in English thereafter. But one day he had to take leave, and next day before the class, he met me in the staff room. He had written a letter in English, and the reason that he had specified as to why he was absent was he had headache in his leg. He had headache in his leg. I thought for a while. I put a signature and I sent him back. But then I was thinking, why that particular student might have written it. Then I realized in Kannada we say, "ಈ ಕಾಲಿದು ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ತಲೆನೋವು ಆಗಿದೆ." And he translated that word as it is. I had headache in my leg. There are many such incidents. A student wanting to sleep after a good day's workout, representing the hockey team, getting up early in the morning at 5, but coming to class and sleeping. So I getting a glass of water, just placing it in front on the table along with the attendance register. They would keep looking at the glass and they never close their eyes, at least during my hour. So there are many creative ways that we could have got the best out of our students as well. You don't have to necessarily scold, because they do represent our college, and possibly they are the future of the college, of the state, and of the country as well. In the previous video, I finished with a thought of presence of mind. In this video too, I thought, I would start with the concept of leave you all with the presence of mind. My simple question to everyone: suppose you are given a chance to answer only one question, and you get only one chance, and that answer will decide whether you get a job or you don't get a job. It's a very serious one. If you're ready to answer this question, feel free to answer me this in the YouTube box messages. I will reply to those for sure. Can you tell me there are how many crows, CROWS, cow, in this universe? There are how many crows in this universe? This is the only question that I leave you all with. Feel free to answer that question to me. And I always understand, if you have to have humor in your life, you have to be a happy person. So find ways as to how you can be happy. So stay happy, stay healthy, stay lively, and keep smiling always. So thank you very much once again. Hope you have enjoyed this presentation. Until we meet again with the next video. Thank you.